Hello YouTubers, welcome back to my channel for the novice, TamiyaTruckBuilding Part 5. I broke away from the build last week because there were a couple of special topics I wanted to cover. Decals, or decals, because I'd been asked for several people about them, and painting. If you haven't seen these videos, check them out on my channel. Back to the build today, peeps. In this episode we'll be looking at building stages 6 and 7 of the Tamiya Volvo FH12 tractor truck. In the previous episode we looked at stages 4 and 5, which is where we put the two chassis rails together along with the gearshift servo. In stage 6 we're going to build the steering shaft, or the steering box, and then the three shafts that go with it that make up all of the steering mechanism between the servo and the wheels. The three shafts that we've got to build have very specific dimensions between the end points. If you don't have a ruler to be able to measure it, this is a scale drawing which is exactly 91 millimeters for that bottom one there, for example. So if you don't have this, you can do it by the drawing here. I've got all the parts here ready, so we're going to start with what I suppose they call a crank, really, on the ends of the steering box. Now there's two of these, which are parts C6 and C7. There is a difference between them, as you may or may not be able to see. That one's got two holes in the top of it, and this one's got a single hole. The two hole one is that one there. We're going to do the back one first, which has an MA16 in it. The MA16 is the smaller one of the two of the knuckles. There's an MA16 which goes through there, like so, and uses the nut that we've got here on the inside. And we use our trusty little Tamiya supplied wrench, if you want to call it that, to just pinch that up tight. The little screw that goes in the end there we do when we assemble the rod. I'm going to do the crank at the other end now, and if we look carefully, the ball goes through the bottom hole of the two here, so you have to get it the right way around. Put the ball in the bottom hole. This one's held in with a BA1 nut, which we don't have. Because foolishly I only got one out instead of two. There we go. There's the BA2 nut. Get it right in a minute. BA1 nut, quantity 2. That screws into there. Quite a long thread on it, this one has. You can always use this, of course, as well, which is useful for tightening it up. Here we go. So that one's ready for that end now. Now the main shaft that goes through the middle is this piece here, and this unit here, you can see the way around it goes. It has a collar on the one end of it, and the diagram clearly shows that it goes like that. And there is collars on the inside as well as these fossil bronze bearings. So let's put some grease on. This is where it gets a little bit messy. Bit of grease on that. What we're going to do now, first of all, is put on the MA3, which is the big bearing. That's that one. We're then going to put on the C16 collar, which is that one there. We then have to put the MA4, which goes on the other end of it. And those go in there. Nice and tight. I'm just going to run that shaft through. Stay there, there's a good chap. Just going to run that shaft through there just to make it nice and lubricated. There we go. Now this one on this end goes on this way. So whilst that's on there, we're going to put on a little screw. Here's that little screw. That's on the one end of it now. The diagram over here shows the way it has to go together. That's the one with the double, goes there, and the single goes upright at the back. And they have to be at 90 degrees to each other. Looking at the diagram now. Yep, that's correct. Put that screw in there. And do that one up. So we now have the shaft, as you can see. Yep. As per the diagram over there. Quite happy with that. Start with a long shaft. What you could do with these is you could always put just a little bit of grease on the end of them. We'll make these go on a little bit easier. So 91. That's that done. I will now move on to section 7, which is these parts here. In section 7 we will be mounting the steering servo and the steering box to the left hand side of the chassis rail. So I've got the parts here already. There we go. There's the steering servo. So what we need to do for this one is use 1, 2, 3 BA4s, which are the smaller size ones. 1, 2, 3 BA4s. There's no need for any thread lock. So we just put those there, grab a screwdriver, and they are going into the holes which are just to the left of those two and that one, because you've got 4 to go in there, miss out the 3, 1 above that, so that's where that goes. In position. Now we put in the steering box, and if we look at this now, it's the one with the double hole that goes at the top and the collar at the top, and that goes in just there. And that's held in with 4 screws. That's these 4 here. 1, 2, 3, 4. No thread lock has been required with these. What's that done in there? That turns round now like that. Should be. Well, that's it for this episode, YouTubers. I hope you liked the video. If you did, hit the like button, and if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel. Back soon with part 6. Bye for now.